I'm Everlecia, aka Mrs. Howto Shin, How to Tips to help us all thrive in life. Welcome to season 2 of the How To Show. I have a returning guest for episode 1, Everkesia. She is a poet, author, and a curator of one of the most successful open mic nights in the city of Tampa, Florida. And she's here to tell us how to curate a successful monthly event. Question number 1: how did you get into curating events?
So I started first it wasn't open mics. Mm-hmm. It was book signings. It was book releases. So I was writing poetry books. Mm-hmm. For those who don't know, I'm a published author of 6 poetry books and 2 poetry albums. So that's pretty much how I started. I just was doing book signings.
Okay. So you open mics. Now you're doing an open mic monthly every month. Then how did you make it where your open mic night stands out from everyone else?
I think that's a really good question because there's like so many open mics around town. But I would say is I focus on experience. Mm-hmm. I feel like because I'm an artist, I know what the artist wants, what the artist needs. But also I feel like what was missing when I was going to open mics was like it didn't feel as fun as it could be. Mm-hmm. It was very like you go there, you share, you get off the stage, and that's it. Mm-hmm. I wanted it to be more of a networking experience. I wanted it to be where the artist was able to like set up a booth, sell their books, sell their hoodies, their shirts, their mixtapes or whatever, so that they were able to like monetize off of their work as well. Mm-hmm.
So when a person leaves I Am Poetry Show for the first time, how do you think they feel?
They feel like relaxed. They feel released. They feel like they found their community, their tribe. I know for a lot of artists, like poetry, music is very therapeutic to share with other people. And I feel like that release and that relief is how you feel when you leave. You just feel like you had a good time. Like when you go out to a club, but it feels more like therapeutic.
Gotcha. Okay, gotcha.
You don't leave feeling like you lost something. You feel like you gained something.
So you feel like you catered it more to like experience for the artist, not just like a one-time thing. But
just so for the artist, but also for like the attendees. Because like people love art. Like the art enthusiasts, I want to make sure that they leave and they take something from it as well.
And then what do you feel like they usually take away from the event?
Connection. I feel like, especially me stepping out of the space of being an artist, when I'm in an audience, when I'm watching people perform, like even though we share things that are so personal, it's crazy how something so personal can be so universal. You could be in an audience and you can be like, damn, I'm in a situation, nobody knows I'm in a situation. And then a poet goes up there and express something, and you're like, damn, I relate to that.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Everkesia, also tell us what are some things that you did from the very beginning to grow your event?
I think, so I uploaded the event listing onto Eventbrite, which was really good because people go there specifically for events when they want to like find something to do. And then social media, that's always the cheapest, easiest way to reach people. I did that. And then especially when it came to my other events, I would just say word of mouth, go out and tell everybody.
What are some of the behind the scenes things that people don't see that's critical to maintaining and growing your event?
Having a team. To be honest, in the beginning, majority of the time is just me, setting up. But I feel like that can take a toll on you. Luckily, I have a big vehicle. I feel like certain things I would have done better with looking for venues that had stuff. Like I was lucky and fortunate enough to have tables and chairs because my mama used to throw events. But a lot of people don't have that starting out. So when you're looking for a venue, it's always great to find venues that already provide those things for you. Because that's less overhead for you, that's less work for you, less labor. And I wish I would have thought of that in the beginning. Though, if you are going the route of renting them, it would be best to buy them first because that'll save you a lot of money. But again, that's still labor. But you just have to weigh the odds and see what's best for you, to be honest.
Okay. So finding the team in the beginning when you have limited resources and you're just trying to figure it all out, like what are some tips that you have for people like finding a team in the beginning?
I think when you're doing something you're passionate about and that you love to do, sometimes people just happen to find you. It's not always the case, but it's like there's a saying like if your car breaks down, if you sit in the car, nobody's going to really help you. But if they see you outside the car trying to push it, they'll be more inclined to pull over and help you. And I feel like I took that to heart with everything that I do. But also, like, if you need help, don't be afraid to ask. I feel like I'm the type of person who, at least I'm getting out of it, where like I don't like to ask for help. But yeah, but then also I have a big family, so I can also use that as a resource. So if you do have friends, family who you feel like, they want to make a few extra dollars on the side, or even if you don't have money, I feel like, just showing them the appreciation, giving them free tickets to the event, or even just, I don't know, free pizza or something, you know what I mean? Lunch. Okay. I feel like that is a small gesture to tell people thank you, even if you can't afford to in the beginning.
Gotcha. So another thing I want to say, how do you stay motivated in the beginning when it's like, okay, you may have 1 or 2 people showing up to your event, but you want to have it where it's a consistent thing or an annual thing? Like, how do you stay motivated to keep going?
Just keep doing it, and then just tweak, figure out what it is you need to change. Because sometimes it's just, maybe it's the event that people aren't interested in. Maybe it's the venues. Maybe you need just more content and more footage from it. Maybe it's, I know one thing I did when I first did my very first event was I did it for free. Even though I had to, have my initial cost, but the tickets was free to get in. Because my biggest thing was I wanted to see if it worked. I wanted to see if this is what the community needed, this is what they wanted. And then with that, with the first initial show, I was able to get footage. I was able to get content, which helped me push the next one. When I did decide to charge people, I had that footage to back it up, where people can see the experience and see what it is they're getting themselves into. Especially if they don't know you, like, you have to build that credibility first.
Gotcha. So with your I Am Poetry event, how do you, I know that it's open mic, but can you give us some background on how you determine who performs and who doesn't perform, and like how you keep it balanced as far as, okay, not having favoritism? Like, how do you go about that?
Yeah, so I have it where I also did it for myself for peace of mind, because starting out, I didn't know who was going to come. So I did it where people can purchase, so you can purchase tickets online as general admission, but you also can purchase tickets to perform. And I usually charge a discounted price for that, because technically you're part of the show. That's kind of an incentive to get you here as well. And then also just to support the artist. Like, it costs me to throw it, but I also want to show some love to them. But yeah, that's pretty much what I did was, and then in that case, before the event even came up, I already knew what my lineup was, who was going to perform. And in that case, I can reach out to them in advance, tell them, sing your music here. This is how much time you have on set. Do you have a photo where we can use your photo on the flyer to promote? You can send it out to your friends as well. So that was also good for marketing.
Okay, now to the money question. As Mrs. Howto Finance, I'm always want to be into the finance and the money talk. That's my favorite part of the interview. Okay, so how do you fund the event or make sure that it pays for itself, hosting a monthly I Am Poetry?
Yeah, so at first I wasn't making no money, because obviously it was free to get in. Then once I started charging people, it was only $10, which still wasn't much. I feel like if I was starting over and doing it differently, I would say that you should think about what your expenses are first to help determine how much you should charge people. I kind of did it based on competition wise, what other people was charging for open mics, as well as just starting out, because I still wanted people to come, because it was still fairly new, and I wasn't sure how much people would be willing to pay for an open mic, especially when there's a lot of them in the city that are free. But then I also have to consider what it is that I'm bringing, the value that I'm bringing to people, because mine is very different. My experience is a lot more extravagant, you can say. I have bigger turnouts. But yeah, I would say consider what your expenses are.
Okay. So I remember we talked about before you decided to raise your price. So how do you determine when's the best time to raise your price, having a monthly event that went from, what was the price? It was
$10.
And what did it go up to?
It's like $20 now.
Okay, so how did you determine that marker?
Yeah, so I think also what was a motivator for me, because I quit my job early this year to pursue I Am Poetry shows like full time. So it has to make sense for me if it was going to be sustainable. I actually ended up raising my price at my 2-year anniversary because again, it had grown so big where I had like so many people in attendance, and the demand of it was, it was where I was able to raise my prices, where it made sense with what the experience I was providing for people. And then, so for one was just, for sustainability, I had to make some money. And then I was making a good amount of profit, but it definitely could have been better. And then also I have vendors at my shows. That's also what makes a difference. So it's an open mic plus a vendors market. And then I also went up on the price of vendors booths. So that helped me, have more money.
So the populated event allowed you to increase the price. So question, in the beginning, how did you fund the event in the beginning?
9 to 5, had a job.
So
So at the time, it wasn't until early this year that I actually quit my job. So before then, I was just using money I made from my 9 to 5 job to fund my dream job, my business.
Okay. So one thing I do admire about you that you have merch and books, things for sale. So how have you been able to monetize outside of your monthly event of I Am Poetry?
Yeah, so to add, I forgot, that's also another stream of revenue, which is the I Am Poetry apparel, as well as my poetry books. So usually outside of the shows, I would do pop-up shops at other people's events. That helped me spread the word about my event. That helped me sell shirts, sell books, because again, I'm also a poet. So I would go to other places and perform, go to other open mics or showcases and share my art, as well as, for my own shows.
Okay. Yeah. So if someone wanted to start their own monthly open mic, or they wanted to start their own event, what's one low cost step that you would give them that they should take today in order to start it?
I would say collaboration. I feel like the biggest expense is venues and DJs. If you can find a really cool DJ who wants to throw events, who wants to create opportunities for themselves, because you get tired of waiting for somebody to call you for a job. You know what I mean? It's different when you're creating those opportunities for yourself. That, and find venues, because there's a lot of venues who also struggle with marketing, who struggle with getting people in their doors. So if you talk to them, I'm sure they'll give you at least one event for free, or you can come up with some type of plan with where y'all split ticket sales, or it depends on what's best for you. But if you're starting out and you don't have nothing to give or nothing to offer, I feel like that'd be a great way to get started until you're able to change and negotiate how you want to do that.
Gotcha. So one thing I have noticed is that you have created community with your I Am Poetry event. So give us some tips on like what that has been, or the impact creating community has been for your events, and how you did that.
Yeah, I realized that people are a big part of the growth of I Am Poetry. Like, it wouldn't be where it is right now if it wasn't for the people who attend, for the people who perform. And I think having that community as a big core value of your business helps you. It helps me, I should say. It helps me cater to that. You know what I mean? So it's the experience, but it's also the people. It's me taking it into account what people need, and not just thinking, oh, how can I make more money, but more so, how can I serve the people? How can I help the people? How am I serving the artists? How am I creating platforms for them that make sense, instead of it just being me being self-centered on my business and how I can make money from them? How can I help them? How can I help the people that are attending, instead of me trying to take something from them? How can I give to them?
So give us some examples of the way that you cater to that community. Like,
so for one, I would say for the artists, I would say the opportunity to get on stage and to do it for close to nothing. For the audience, I add little, we do like raffles, we do giveaways. We give away free tickets to the I Am Poetry Festival, to the next show, just to bring them back. We give them paintings. I've been blessed enough to have people want to donate to me. I've had a paint and sip company donate some paintings, which I give out to free to people in raffles, and just things like that to give them incentives, like where they can leave out with something.
So what's the biggest mistake you made when starting out of hosting your monthly I Am Poetry? And did you even start out monthly with your hosting?
So when I started shows, I was having them like once every 3 months. And then it wasn't until actually a year ago when I started to have them every month, sometimes twice a month. What was the other question?
What's the biggest mistake that you made starting out with your events?
I would say, what was my biggest mistake? I don't know if I would say call really anything a mistake. I would say it was a learning curve. I think doing everything on my own, because that drains you. That requires a lot of energy and time and effort. When I could have been focusing, not instead of operating in my business, I could have been operating on my business. Meaning, I could have been focused more on sales or focused more on marketing. Instead, I was focused on everything. I think that's what majority of entrepreneurs do. Like in the beginning, is we wear multiple hats, and then you have to, in a sense, because of starting out, you don't have the resources to kind of give other people loosen the reins. You don't have that, that luxury. But I think that's a mistake. If I continue to do that, that would be a mistake for me. Because now I feel like I'm in a position where I'm able to like let other people do this, let other people handle this. And I feel like I am, but I feel like in certain instances, I can continue to like loosen up and let go a bit. And I feel like if I continue to do what worked for me then, now that I'm in a different position, that'll be a mistake.
Okay. So you kind of went into my next question, which was how to avoid burnout when you're doing these monthly events. Because I realized, especially from putting the videos together for part 1 of how to curate a successful event, is that we may see or the audience may experience a 4-hour, 5-hour show, but it's like it starts long, even weeks before the actual show. So how do you avoid the burnout and just continue to have the passion to show up every month?
Yeah. So far, again, a solution would be to loosen my reins, but also I feel like even before, when I was doing shows every month, sometimes twice a month, and I was the sole person of setting up, breaking down, emailing, marketing, tickets, flyers. I think I kind of forgot what I was about to say.
So now I was saying,
this would be a good blooper though.
Yeah, but the burnout, like how you.
So what made me continue on was just like the shows. I had so much fun at the shows, and I remember before the shows, like even when I felt drained or like tired, and I'm like, bro, I can't, like, I don't even know how I'm gonna keep doing this because it's a lot of work. Like once I get to the end of the day, I'd be like, dang, this was worth it. Gotcha. Like, dang, we had so much fun. Like seeing people smile, seeing people make s'mores, seeing people meet people, hearing the stories. Like it was a girl. She's actually performed a few times. She wrote a blog about my show, and it was different hearing it from somebody's perspective who came, and it was like her version of our reviews, because we get a lot of reviews, but it's like an extended version of a review. And she was like, she was telling in the blog, she was saying like she had trouble with it's out, so I don't really feel weird telling her business, but she was like she had an issue with addiction and smoking and all certain stuff. And she was like she had the urge when she was there to go outside and smoke or to do whatever. And she was like, something happened in the show where she felt drawn to stay. And she was like, she was so happy she stayed. As if she would have left, she would have missed that. And I was like, dang, I didn't realize it, that had that impact on her in that way. And then it made me think, like, imagine all the other situations or other instances that someone else had that I didn't even know, because I wouldn't have known unless she said it. Okay. And then it made me feel like, dang, I'm really doing something like the community needs and loves. And it was at a show last year, August. I remember it like it was yesterday. That show made me feel like this was my purpose. Before, I was doing it because I was having fun, because I'm an artist. I wanted to share. But it was at that event where, we didn't have a theme. Like my shows typically not themed. And then we had almost every artist that came up, whether it was a poet, a rapper, a singer, they were sharing art that was about like trauma or about like healing. And it was the same girl that did the vlog. She was there that day too. And she said, when she went on stage, she said, wow, this is like a healing session. And I was like, that's so wild, because it felt like the first person that came up kind of gave everyone else permission to share poems about similar topics that were really heavy and really deep And it was actually one of my more intimate shows, not like how they are now when it's like 250 people come in. It was more one of my smaller shows, and I was like, wow, this is so beautiful. And that really made me like feel like, dang, this is really my purpose. I need to, stick to this. This is where I'm supposed to be. Yeah.
Got you. So in closing, if you can give a person one gem to take away if they're thinking about either doing their own open mic or their own type of event, what's the thing you'll give them as in closing?
I would say one thing I always do with my shows is before like I'll journal and I write down what my intentions are. I feel like if you don't have good intentions with whether it's creating events or whatever the case may be for you, I feel like your intention should be in the right place because that will lead you down the right path. But yeah, that's my biggest advice. Do something you're passionate about. I know there's a few people who see what I'm doing and they like create art and they just kind of do it for the sake of not art, but they mimic the show thing because they see money in it. And I feel like if money is your main driving force, I feel like it's not gonna sustain you as well as you think. I feel like there has to be something else. There has to be something else that makes you feel good inside. Seeing people, whether it's you're a people person and you just like, because I feel like it's healing. Being around community, having people who support you, being able to help people and support people, like that's priceless. That's more valuable than money. So if you're gonna do anything, whether it's host events, curate events, or whatever it is that you do that you're interested in, like just make sure you have good intentions with it, and it takes you because that's what's gonna sustain you. Money ain't gonna sustain you. Because when you get tired and you drain, like it's gonna take a little something more. Then it has to be something that's internal, not something that's external. That's going to help you external, not eternal, but external. That's going to take you to that next level. It has to be internal.
Okay. I want to say thank you, Kesey, for sharing your gems and letting us follow you on the How to Curate Success event. I do appreciate you, sister.
Appreciate that. Y'all follow me on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok at iampoetry.show if you want to keep up with the I Am Poetry journey. Also, our website is www.iampoetry.shop. So get yourself tickets to the next show, or you can get yourself some I Am Poetry apparel or a poetry book by me. But I hope to see you all at the next event, or I hope to see you all doing your own events, and I hope this helped you with your journey.
See you on the next episode.
See you on the next one.